A quick tarot biz mentor here from the Profitable Psychic Divination and Business Academy. I am so excited to be here to talk to you about psychic abilities. That's going to be a really big theme for the first half of this year. I'm going to be talking a lot about psychic abilities, talking about some myths about being psychic and some signs that you're psychic and some other really cool and interesting videos. I have a whole bunch planned for you, so I hope you're just as excited about that as I am. So today we're going to be talking about 3 secrets that you can utilize to up level your psychic abilities and to do it really quickly. So the first secret is to program your own psychic symbols. So what you can do is you can build your own psychic symbol dictionary, and with that you can intentionally program your own psychic symbols, and you can actually look for them out in the real world. So it's kind of like asking for a sign and then believing that it will come to you, and then actually looking for it and witnessing it when you actually call for it. So when you spot them, it's going to be really important to pay attention to what's going on around you, whether that's externally or internally or both. And what we call this synchronicity. So this means that you're seeing the right sign at the right time, and it has a special meaning for you for the situation that you're in. And that's how you can kind of utilize psychic symbols and look for them in your environment and use them to do readings on yourself, or for others as well. This is another popular method that a lot of psychics who don't use tools utilize. They look for different symbols in the room, and they can actually read the room around people, or read things that are on people, whether that's like I've even seen mediums and psychics do readings based on like what tattoos a person has, or do readings on based on like what kind of jewelry that they're wearing and stuff like that. So there's a lot of different ways you can utilize this to gather psychic information from your external environment. But you can also see them not just in your environment, but in your mind's eye as well. And we'll talk about this here in a little bit. But many psychics I know don't have any problem with this. Actually, they do it and they really don't even know that they do it. So a lot of psychics do this with like numbers. Like if you see sequences of numbers like 222 or 444 or 22 or 1111, things like that. They also do that with like, I know a lot of people work with angels, and they work with angel feathers, and they work with different types of angel feathers, or they work with different colors of angel feathers. Some other psychics work with flowers, and different natural types of things like that. So you can take that a step further. So there's, the collective subconscious meaning, the more universal meaning behind what a symbol represents. So for example, if you see a white feather, it typically means that your angels or your spirit guides or your ancestors are communicating with you, that they are protecting you and keeping you safe. It's kind of like a little hug from your high vibrational team, that sort of thing. Or you might see a red rose and immediately start thinking of your love life, or start thinking that something might happen fairly soon, or something that is happening is involving a romantic partner or a potential romantic partner. But you can actually take this a step further. And did you realize that you can actually program your own psychic symbols? So you have the collective symbols and you have your own personal symbols. This is a little bit more advanced. This is something that we call thought form magic in witchcraft, but psychics use this method all the time, where you take your own psychic symbols and you imbue them with your own specific meaning. So let me give you an example, because I think this will really help you understand what I mean by this. So for example, the collective kind of sees, like, let's take roses. So let's think about like a yellow rose. So most people think about yellow roses as a sign of like affection, friendship, a positive relationship, usually not romantic in nature, but as still a symbol of a really deep emotional connection with someone, and it has like a protective sort of friendship vibe to it, right? So you can actually take that a step further, and for example, for me, my yellow rose symbol, like, yes, yellow rose means all of those things, but on an internal level, when I'm doing a reading for someone, or I'm asking about a situation for myself or someone else, like I'm in the middle of doing a reading, a yellow rose, to me, I've programmed that to mean grandmother energy, because my grandmother's favorite flower was a yellow rose. And so she always had yellow roses. She was always surrounded by yellow roses. And so I've automatically just sort of program that psychic symbol of the yellow rose to mean grand protective maternal energy, right? Or grandmother type of energy. It could also be aunt type of energy, but that's more of like a pink rose. I often see pink as like aunt or mother, and yellow is more grandmother type of energy. So we do this unconsciously all the time, but like a lot of people also do this with like birds or butterflies, right? Like, so a lot of people know that seeing birds or butterflies is a way that someone on the other side is trying to contact you, meaning that they either have a message for you or they're just letting you know that they're okay, right? And so, if you look at specific birds, like, so for example, a lot of the times people say that if you see a cardinal, it means someone on the other side is trying to connect with you. Well, you can also deepen this and you can assign different types of people and different types of relationships to specific birds or animals. So, for example, yes, everybody knows that if you see a cardinal, that someone on the other side is trying to contact you. If you program your cardinal to mean like, let's say father or grandfather energy, and let's say you could program like robins to mean mother or grandmother energy, then you can go deeper and you can kind of distinguish. You can say to the universe, and the universe will accommodate you. You can say to the universe, this is what it means when I see this, and this is what it means when I see this. And the universe will send you specific signs based on you communicating with the universe that these are your parameters to receive psychic information. And you'll be surprised at how quickly and efficiently your psychic readings can become much deeper and more, they can contain more detail, right? When you utilize this sort of method. So number two, my second secret is to learn and master as many divination systems as possible that you can reasonably learn. And don't, the thing here is don't like automatically try to learn all the divination systems, especially all at once, because that's just going to confuse you further. But if you're someone who just reads oracle cards and you're really interested in getting into tarot, do it. Or if you're someone who's only reading tarot cards and maybe you want to start getting into like using your psychic abilities without tools, but you still need a little bit of like what do they call it? Your little safety wheels when you're riding a bike. You know what I'm talking about? You could use like astrology or numerology, where you're kind of using tools, but you're not really using tools. You're starting to understand what it means to really rely more on your intuition, do more like channeling with your readings. You could also do like reading runes or any other type of divination. Like literally, there's so many out there that is like there's some that are really popular, that are really obscure, and on top of that, you can also create your own divination system. So a lot of my friends I know that do that sort of thing, they create their own like casting lots where they collect like little filigrees or little like necklace pendants, or they collect like little brooches, or they collect bones, or they collect just or crystals or something like along those lines, and they kind of create their own little divination system. They put it all into a pouch and then they just cast it, and then they can learn more from different sources of psychic symbols out there, and they can kind of learn to program their own. But what's really awesome, I think, in my opinion, what's really cool about learning divination systems, and why I think that even if you're not really interested in like reading one divination system, like say for example, you're not really interested in learning Lenormand, but there is wisdom in learning divination systems that you're not really that interested in taking to a professional level, because what that does is it helps you learn context, and context is so important. So for example, tarot cards are like really good. The tarot cards are like really, they're like the Swiss Army knife of divination. They're pretty much good for everything, but tarot really talks about more of like the deeper esoteric kind of things, whereas Lenormand talks about like the more day-to-day kind of mundane sort of ways that we interact with our surroundings, interact with people, interpersonal relationships, that sort of thing. They Tarot cards are really focused on more of like the big picture stuff, whereas Lenormand cards are kind of focused on the little picture stuff, right? And so what the benefit of learning that is you learn these different languages and you learn these different contexts and ways that these divination tools can relate to you and the questions that you have and that your clients have. And what it does is it helps you build upon your psychic language. And when you are somewhat fluent in a bunch of different types of languages, what that does is it helps you expand and get comfortable with receiving a multitude of information, but it also helps you get comfortable with deepening your readings and being able to really take them to like a more personalized level. So pretty much everybody I come into contact with that's a psychic is really good at doing general readings, but a lot of people are not really great at reading about specific questions or getting predictions or timelines and things like that. And that's where, learning all these different types of divination systems. So I suggest, maybe start with like maybe one or two, maybe after a year, start looking into another. Even if you don't think you're going to be utilizing them, still see what they have to offer you because each, especially with Lenormand, I mean, it's pretty much a dictionary of psychic symbols, right? So it has its own system, but some of the symbols are symbols that you see out there in the real world that maybe don't rely necessarily on Lenormand specifically, but they will still help you learn how to interpret symbols and interpret psychic information from anywhere, really. All right. So, number three, my third secret is to join a psychic circle and practice, or at the very least, join a community with other psychics that you can talk to. Because it's really important, in my opinion, to be around people that actually believe in their abilities. If you're a psychic who's still struggling with like imposter syndrome, you're still struggling with believing in your abilities, you're still struggling with even claiming the word psychic, or you're still wrapped up in all of these external ideas and assumptions about what that is, and that is preventing you from claiming it for yourself. The very first thing you need to do is you need to join a community full of psychics who actually believe in themselves, psychics who, places where you can chat about certain issues that only psychics really can deal with. Also, being around people that are psychic and are comfortable with exploring what that means for them and are confident in their psychic abilities, because that's going to kind of rub off on you, right? And it's going to show you actually what is possible. I also think it's important to start doing practice readings with other people with types of reading styles that maybe necessarily you don't offer for other people, but there's things that will help you expand your abilities. So, for example, maybe you don't offer mediumship outside of your practice, but maybe you trade with some people and some of your friends and you do some mediumship readings, and maybe you don't plan on becoming a professional medium, but overall it will help you expand your abilities and just show you different ways that you can get information. And so what we're doing with that is we're just helping you build up your psychic toolkit, right? Also, there can't be enough said about being in a safe place where you can talk about that. You can gain knowledge. You can read other people's interpretations and perspectives about it. That's really, really valuable. Of course, I definitely think you should go a step further and join some type of psychic circle or psychic development program or something like that. I spent 4 years in one. It was the best time and money I've ever spent. I learned how to do a bunch of different types of readings, and that's where I really gained my confidence, right? If you don't know anybody who has a circle, then start one. Start one that where you meet with your friends maybe once a month, just a couple of your girlfriends or boyfriends or whatever, and you just, hang out and talk shop and just talk about psychic abilities and do some interesting readings for one another, and just have that space where you have that space where you can play and you can experiment and you can learn, where that pressure of having to deliver a reading for money or in a professional setting, it's not putting pressure on you, and so you have that experimental kind of playground like that. And if you are looking for a community that will help you come out of your shell, help you claim the word psychic, the title psychic, and give you that space where you can connect with other really, really powerful psychics, I do have a free online community called The Profitable Psychic. It's on Facebook. It's a free group. Anybody can come. If you look down in the description box below, there's a link. There's also a link in the pinned comment. So it's very easy to find. You can't miss it. So I'm curious, over to you. So what are some juicy secrets that you have about how you can up-level your psychic abilities really quickly? Or are there some things that you did? I want to know what you did to help yourself become more confident in your psychic abilities. So I will see you in the next video.